What if your RV could generate more power than some homes, and you still run out because you picked the wrong solar panel? Yeah, most people think more watts equals more power, but that's only half the story. The real difference comes down to efficiency, shading, and how smart your panel actually is. And if you get that wrong, you're stuck with dead batteries in the middle of nowhere. So here's the deal. Today we're breaking down the top 6 best solar panels for RV roofs, and not just listing them, we're putting them head-to-head. N-type versus P-type, bifacial versus standard, budget versus premium. By the end, you'll know exactly which one deserves space on your roof. And while you're watching, think about this. Are you building for maximum power or maximum reliability? Drop your answer in the comments. I want to see where you stand. Let's get into it. 6. Callsun 400-watt bifacial kit. Rewritten. Kicking things off, the Callsun 400-watt bifacial kit is easily one of the most
tech-packed options on this list, and honestly, it's kind of surprising how much you're getting for the price. Right away, you're stepping into next-gen territory with N-type cells pushing around 25% efficiency, which already puts it ahead of older panels like the eco-worthy kit sitting lower on this list. But what really separates this from most panels here is the bifacial design. Here's what that actually means in real use. You're not just getting power from sunlight hitting the front, but also from reflected light hitting the back. On a bright RV roof, that can boost your total output by up to 30%. Now compare that to something like the Renogy panel or the Rvpozwer, which are both monofacial. You're instantly getting more potential energy from the same space with Callsun. And it doesn't stop there. The twin-cell anti-shade design is a huge advantage on an RV because, let's be real, you're always dealing with partial shade from vents, AC units, or trees. Unlike
basic panels like eco-worthy, where shading can kill performance, Callsun keeps half the panel working, even if the other half is blocked. Now, compared to BougeRV, which we'll get to later, Callsun delivers very similar tech, but usually at a better price. The trade-off? Brand recognition. Callsun isn't as proven as Renogy or BougeRV, so long-term trust is still something to think about. Also, to really benefit from bifacial, you'll need to mount it slightly elevated, which adds a bit of complexity compared to flat mount panels. So here's the real question. Would you go for cutting-edge tech at a lower price, or stick with a more established brand? Let me know. 5. Eco-worthy 200-watt kit, rewritten. Now, shifting gears, the eco-worthy 200-watt kit is basically the definition of simple, reliable, and affordable. It doesn't try to compete with the high-end tech of Callsun or BougeRV. It plays a completely different game. You're getting classic monocrystalline panels with
around 21 to 23% efficiency, which is solid, but clearly behind the 25% N-type panels we've already talked about. So right away, in a direct comparison, eco-worthy loses on efficiency, but wins big on price. And that's really its strength. Compared to Renogy, which offers better consistency and brand reliability, eco-worthy is noticeably cheaper, making it a great entry point if you're just getting started. Another thing I actually like here is the 2-panel setup. Compared to something like the Rvpozwer single 200-watt panel, this gives you way more flexibility when mounting on an RV roof that's already crowded with vents and equipment. But let's be honest, this is basic solar. No bifacial gain like Callsun or BougeRV, no advanced shading tech like Renogy, and slightly less performance in high temperatures compared to N-type panels. So who is this for? If you just want dependable power for lights, charging, maybe a small fridge, this works. But if you're trying to maximize
every watt or build a serious off-grid system, you'll quickly outgrow it. So let me ask you, would you rather start cheap and upgrade later, or invest up front and avoid the hassle? 4. Rvpozwer 200 watts N-type panel, rewritten. Now, this one is interesting. The Rvpozwer 200 watts panel is all about squeezing maximum performance into limited space. If your RV roof is tight, this is where things start to get serious. Right away, you're getting N-type cells with around 25% efficiency, putting it on the same level as Callsun and Renogy in terms of raw performance. But here's where it stands out: 18 bus bars. That's more than most panels on this list, including Renogy's 16 BB design. What does that mean for you? Better current flow, less resistance, and improved durability over time. In simple terms, it's built to perform consistently and last longer under stress. Now, compare this to EcoWorthy. It's not even close. Higher efficiency, better tech, more output from the same space.
But compared to Callsun or BougeRV, you lose bifacial capability, which means less total energy potential. And here's the big trade-off: brand trust. Rvpozwer isn't as established as Renogy or BougeRV. So while the specs look amazing, long-term reliability is still a bit of a question mark. Also, being a single panel, it's less flexible than a two-panel setup when it comes to installation. So this really comes down to priorities. Do you trust specs or do you trust brand reputation? I'm curious, would you take the risk for better performance? 3. Renogy 200 watt N-type panel. Now we're getting into the safe zone. The Renogy 200 watt N-type panel is what most people end up choosing when they don't want to take chances. And honestly, it makes sense. You're getting the same 25% efficiency as Rvpozwer and Callsun, but backed by a brand that's been dominating the RV solar space for years. Where Renogy really shines is shading performance. Their shadow flux tech,
specifically designed for real-world RV conditions, where partial shading is unavoidable. Compared to EcoWorthy or even Rvpozwer, this gives Renogy a serious edge in consistent output. Now, yes, it has slightly fewer bus bars than Rvpozwer, but the difference is minimal compared to the benefit of brand reliability and support. Compared to Callsun and BougeRV, you don't get bifacial gains, but what you do get is predictability. You know exactly what you're getting, and it works. So if you're someone who values peace of mind over chasing maximum output, this is a strong contender. But I want to know, do you prioritize reliability, or are you chasing maximum power no matter what? 2. BougeRV 200 watt bifacial panel, rewritten. Now this is where things get exciting. The BougeRV 200 watt bifacial panel takes everything we liked about Callsun and refines it. You're still getting N-type cells with around 25% efficiency, but combined with bifacial tech, you're unlocking up to 30% more.
Energy in the right setup. Compared to Renogy, that's a massive advantage in total daily output. And unlike Callsun, BougeRV has stronger brand recognition and a more established reputation, which makes it easier to trust long-term. Build quality is excellent, installation is straightforward, and it integrates well into both 12-volt and 24-volt systems. Though, like most high-efficiency panels, it really shines with an MPPT controller. Now yes, you still need to mount it with some spacing to take advantage of the rear gain, which adds complexity compared to flat panels like Renogy or EcoWorthy. But if your goal is maximum energy from limited space, this easily beats monofacial panels. So here's the question. Is that extra 30% potential power worth the extra installation effort for you? 1. Star 870 watt panel kit. And finally, number 1. The Star 870 watt kit is on a completely different level. This isn't just a solar panel. It's a system designed for people who want serious
power without constant maintenance. Each panel pushes 435 watts, which means fewer panels, less wiring, and more usable roof space. Now, compared to everything else here, even BougeRV's bifacial tech, Star takes a different approach. Instead of focusing on reflection, it focuses on long-term performance with its frameless, self-cleaning design. No frame edges means dust and debris don't build up as easily. Rain literally washes the panel clean. Over time, that can increase real-world output by 6 to 15%, which is huge. So while others chase peak performance, Star focuses on consistent, long-term efficiency. Of course, there are trade-offs. The size makes installation harder, and you may need specialized mounting hardware. And yes, it's more expensive up front. But if you want maximum output with minimal maintenance, nothing else here really competes. So let me ask you, would you pay more up front to avoid maintenance for years? So, here's the bottom line. If you want budget, no.
Eco-worthy. If you want compact power, then Rvpozwer. If you want reliability, then Renogy. If you want maximum output, then BougeRV or Callsun. And if you want next-level, long-term performance, Star takes it. Now I want to hear from you. Which one are you putting on your RV this season? Drop your pick in the comments, hit like if this helped, and subscribe for more no BS gear breakdowns. I'll see you in the next one.